Hey guys, it's Hans Hobbies, and today I have a video talking about my RC4 drive 1/18 scale Gelande II D90. This is a mouthful, but at least the truck's pretty nice, so hopefully be worth it. So this is a truck I got for Christmas 2019, which was last year, as of the filming of this video. And it's a truck I've been enjoying quite a lot. It is one of my go-to trucks right now, just because it's easy to just pick up and start driving. You can drive it basically anywhere. You put it in your bag, take it to work, drive it during lunch. It's just a very enjoyable truck to drive. But I will be talking about some stuff I liked about this truck and some complaints about this truck, because I definitely have some major complaints. I will talk about the complaints first because I want to end the video on a happy note. But the main complaint about this truck, the thing that a lot of people complain about this truck, is the price. So this truck is priced at $220, which honestly for a 1/18 scale truck like this is, at least with a hard body, there's only one other truck that really competes with this, which is the Kyosho Mini Z 4x4, and that one's around $200. So it is priced competitively. That doesn't mean it's affordable, or that doesn't mean it's a good price, but it is priced competitively. And there is a reason why this one is so expensive. Other crawlers, similar scale. This is a 24th scale crawler, but they're essentially the same scale, just the matter of what scale your body is. But this SCX24 costs about $100, $120. It's like $100 less than this. For $220, you can honestly get a lot of 10 scale, 12 scale crawlers for a similar price or less. So for a lot of people, it doesn't, the value isn't there. But value is something I think that is kind of subjective to a point, and because value is, I think, is determined by how much did I pay for it versus how much enjoyment did I get out of it. And a lot of people, the value isn't there because they will be able to get the same enjoyment, if not more, from a larger 12 or 10 scale crawler. And especially since for the average person trying to get into RC cars, most hobby shops, most online stores, 10 scale, 12 scale stuff tends to be the most supported and tends to be the stuff that parts are usually made for. The mini and micro stuff is a little more niche, so it's harder to find parts for this, harder to find upgrades for this. There's not going to be as much aftermarket support, which is a big thing about the hobby, just customizing it and adding parts and stuff. The one mini truck that has a lot of aftermarket support is the SCX24, just because it is an axial vehicle. So I think that also helps. And because a lot of this is plastic, so it leaves a lot of room for upgrades. But if you're trying to get into minis or micros like me, and you want a crawler and you want to convert it to full metal, this is honestly not that bad in price. So I thought I was supposed to be complaining right now. So the truck itself, I think, is priced well. To me, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's worth the money. But the part where the complaint comes in is the parts. The parts for this truck are, oh my god, they're so expensive. So universal parts like the wheels and tires that go on like other trucks like the 24, they're not that expensive. The wheels, a set of 4, is like $20, so $20 to $30, not that expensive if you get the stamped steel style wheels. The tires are $10, like $7 to $10 a pair. So that's also not very expensive. What is expensive is the Gelande II specific upgrades or add-ons. The part that this is most notable in is the D90 body style, because the D90 body style is the one that has the most add-on and upgrades available for it. The other versions, the Black Rock and the Blackjack, they basically just have like roof racks and bumpers and stuff. But this one has a lot more add-ons you can do. You can do a headlight grill. You can do a roll cage here. You can do a roof basket. You can do a side rail. You can do a whole wide body kit. You can do ladder in the back, spare tire, new bumpers. You can do a lot more with a D90 body style. Um, but the parts are so expensive. I don't think they're worth it. And it's really sad because they look really cool, and it's something that should be encouraged with something like this. Just customizing it, adding on to it, but it's really hard to do that when the parts are so ridiculously expensive. Prime example is this bumper. So this bumper comes in 3 versions. You can get the version with just this loop here. This part is just a stock bumper, but this loop here, $20, reasonable. Okay, but if you want these lights in the front and the winch here, the winch is also fake. It's just a plastic molded piece. It's not even, I don't know. If you want these, this bumper suddenly becomes a $55 bumper. I don't think this is worth $55. Yeah, I get it. It's metal, but the metal part was $20. Why is it that you add 2 plastic bits and then it becomes $55? That doesn't make sense to me. You can get a roof basket for it. That's metal. Yeah, it's metal, but it's $55 again. You can get 10 scale roof racks for a lot less than that. But not only that, the metal roof basket, if you add lights to it, it's only an $85 bumper. That's so expensive. That's so ridiculous. I don't find that acceptable. The wide body kit is also like $40. That's reasonably priced, I guess. It's still expensive. The little roof, there's a little bar that goes across here. That's metal. That's also like 40 to $50. Each part for this is like 50. So like if you want to kit this out fully in the parts, just those parts by itself are gonna be more than the cost of the whole truck. So you're gonna end up having to spend like $500 to $600 on a tiny truck, which at that point I don't think the value is there anymore. Even like even chassis chassis universal parts. So the Gelande II universal parts, like these old man emu shocks, these yellow shocks here. Supposedly they add performance. I got them because they said they did. They don't do anything. They're barely different from the stock shocks. Honestly, they're slightly shorter than the stock shocks. So I don't know what they were talking about. I thought it would give it a little bit more of a lift. It does not. And also, yeah, they're metal, but these shocks are like $40. That's so expensive. I don't think 10 scale shocks cost that much usually, and 10 scale shocks have at least oil in them. This is just a pogo stick. So parts for this very expensive, and it kind of discourages you from customizing and upgrading the car, which is unfortunate and kind of why I haven't I got this and I haven't really used it much until very recently when I decided I am gonna get into the micros and minis, just because like I didn't have any motivation to like add stuff to it just because the parts were so expensive. There's no real aftermarket support for this. All the parts you get for it are basically through RC four-wheel drive, which is why the price is so high. And also all the parts, they're not even widely available in store. You're usually gonna, if you're lucky and your hobby shop stocks them, then you'll get them at your hobby store. But otherwise, you have to get them from RC four-wheel drive, which means you have to also pay $10 for shipping. And also they take a long time to ship. So that's all like kind of hindering the customization and like upgrade path for this truck. So that is a major complaint. Another complaint is also with the body. The body looks very, very nice, but there's no body clips, as you can see, which looks nice, but it comes at the cost of how the body's mounted. Like the 10 scale Gelande II, the 18 scale also has the body screwed in, but if it's like the back, it's not a big deal because they're machine thread screws, but the fronts for mine, one, they were different size screws. So you have to use 2 screwdrivers to take the body off, which you need to take the body off to take the battery out, to charge the battery, to plug it in, turn it on and off, all of that. One, it's self-tapping. 2, it's different screw size. That sucks. for something you have to take in and out all the time. That's super annoying. Eventually, that plastic's gonna wear out, and then your body won't fit, and that's just crappy. Um, I will try to make a magnet body mount for this because I don't want to deal with those screws anymore. But I feel like there was just a better way to do that. At the least, make the front posts metal and machine threaded so they're not as bad to take on and off. But I don't know. That seems like a major oversight for this. Um, my other complaint is the drive shaft here. Has little tiny pins, and the pins are held in not with a screw or a clip or anything. It's held on with these rubber bands. And the problem with that is if you are driving this over rocks, the rock will peel back the rubber band, and your little tiny pin will fall out, and then you'll have two-wheel drive or no wheel drive, which sucks. I temporarily have a body clip here, as you can see, to hold my drive shaft in because mine did come off, and it has come off multiple times. It's not the first time it's come off. Um, and the only way you can replace that pin is to make your own, or you have to buy like the RC4 wheel drive maintenance repair kit for this, which costs like $10. And it comes with like springs and screws and stuff. It's pretty annoying. My final complaint is the D90 version. Anyway, it looks great, but it doesn't perform very well. It doesn't like to climb hills. The D90 version also comes with these all-terrain tires, so they don't perform very well either. Um, it's just for the price you're paying, I would have expected it to perform a little bit better. Which granted, it does perform a bit better if you get the Jeep or the Bronco version. But this D90, kind of, you have to make some changes to it. This is also a very minor complaint, but the transmission has quite a bit of slop. You can see just how far that moves before the gears engage. This seems like a common problem, but it's not a huge deal. It is pretty smooth going one direction. It's only kind of like jerky if you change directions because it takes a second for the transmission to catch up with the drivetrain. But that's a pretty minor complaint. Some things I do like about it. It looks fantastic. It just looks amazing, especially this D90 version. To me, the Jeep and the Bronco version, their proportions are kind of weird, so I don't think they look very good. If I had those versions, that would be a complaint. But this D90 version looks mint. It looks fantastic. This body is very, very well painted. The paint's also very durable, so it doesn't scratch very easily. And because this is painted over the original release of this body, which is just black plastic, even if you crash it and chip the paint, it's black underneath. So that looks a lot better than being white plastic underneath, like a lot of hard bodies tend to be. So I do really, really like that. I also like the full depth interior that adds a lot of scale detail into it. This is full depth to the point where it has pedals on the bottom. I have a little vintage Master Chief action figure in there as a little driver. And I had to cut his feet off because the pedals were there. The steering wheel is there. It's really nice. It even has like the rear view mirror in there. The side view mirrors are also really nice when they stay on. They will break off immediately though. That is a minor complaint, but side view mirrors on these things usually never stay on. They should have made them out of rubber, honestly, or at least more flexible plastic, but that's not a huge deal. But yeah, overall, the truck looks fantastic. It looks very, very nice. I also really like these stamped bead locks. They're very scaled. All of these screws screw into a hub, which is super cool. The screws are very tiny though, so they will strip out pretty easily, so that you have to be careful about that. But other than that, they look great, and I love the fact that they're bead locks, so you don't have to buy new wheels when you change out the tires. And it just overall just drives really well. It drives in a very scale manner. It is geared pretty low. This is the version 2 of the transmission that actually works. The electronics work pretty well. They're a little bit glitchy sometimes, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not like you're racing with it or anything, or competing with it or anything like that. So I don't think it's a huge deal. Also, this updated version of the version 2 comes with this radio, which is a lot nicer than the um the other mini radio they used to give you, which came in like WPL cars and like the cheap mini ECX cars. This radio is a lot nicer. It's hard to one hand drive this because the steering wheel is really far away, but it is a really nice feeling radio, and it's just a lot more substantial than the original one. So I'm a big fan of this radio. But yeah, I know the complaints were a lot longer than the stuff I liked about it, but trust me, I do really enjoy this truck, and I will be making a lot more videos about this truck as well, especially since I am making that switch to minis and micros, like I've mentioned, and driving videos, all that, all coming up. And if you guys want to see that, please subscribe, comment down below, give me a like, well, all that good YouTube shenanigans, and I will see you guys next time.